Have you ever wondered what pushes a group of people to declare independence and start a war against one of the world's greatest empires? Let us travel back in time to the 18th century and uncover the sparks that ignited the American Revolution. For years, the American colonies were under British rule. This meant they were considered British subjects and, more importantly, were required to pay taxes to the British Crown. Think of it like having to pay for services and a government thousands of miles away. A government in which you have no voice. The tension started to bubble up over one simple word: taxes. The British government, needing to refill its treasury, especially after the costly 7 Years' War, decided the colonies should help pay the bills. They introduced a series of taxes. Like the Sugar Act and the Stamp Act of 1765, this wasn't just about money. It was about a fundamental principle. The colonists weren't just angry about paying more, they were furious because these taxes were imposed on them by a parliament where they had no elected representatives. Imagine being told you have to pay for something you had no say in. That's exactly how they felt. An artist at the time even created a powerful image to protest the Stamp Act: a skull and crossbones, the symbol of death, printed where the stamp should go. It was a clear message. This law was killing their liberty. Their frustration was captured in a powerful and catchy slogan that spread like wildfire through the colonies: taxation without representation is tyranny. This idea became the rallying cry for a generation. The colonists weren't just complaining, they were organizing. They protested so fiercely that the British Parliament was forced to back down and repeal the Stamp Act in 1766. This was a huge victory for the colonists. It showed them that when they stood together, their voices could be heard all the way across the Atlantic. But the story doesn't end there. The British government didn't give up on the idea of taxing the colonies. Fast forward a few years to 1773. A new tax on tea was the final straw for many. In Boston, a major port city, the colonists decided they had had enough. When British ships carrying tea arrived in the harbor, the locals refused to let them unload their cargo. On a cold December night, a group of colonists, disguised to hide their identities, boarded the ships and did something truly audacious. They hoisted chest after chest of tea onto the decks and dumped it all into the Boston harbor. This bold act of defiance became famously known as the Boston Tea Party. It wasn't just a protest. It was a powerful statement. It sent a clear message to Britain that the colonists would not be bullied and would not accept taxation without representation. The Boston Tea Party is often seen as the point of no return. It was the first major, organized act of rebellion that set the colonies on a direct path toward conflict. Britain's response was swift and harsh. They saw this as an open rebellion and sent their army to restore order in the colonies. But instead of crushing the resistance, this military presence only fanned the flames of revolution. The spark had been lit in Boston Harbor, and it was about to grow into the fire of the American Revolution, a war that would ultimately lead to the birth of a new nation. The story of the American Revolution is a powerful reminder of how the fight for rights, freedom, and self-governance can shape the course of history. Thanks for watching. If you found this story interesting, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and ring the bell so you won't miss our next dive into history. See you next time.